Well, everything started in June 2016 when my son, who was 8 years old, came and said that he had headaches and was throwing up. And we took him to his pediatrician, who diagnosed him with a sinus infection and put him on a course of antibiotics of 2 weeks. And during the 2 weeks' time, we didn't really think much about it. He still had the nausea and throwing up and headaches, but we told him it would go away. And after 2 weeks, it didn't work. So we took him back to his pediatrician and he gave him a stronger course of antibiotics. After another 2 weeks and escalating headaches, nothing was working. So we took him to an ENT. And the ENT did a procedure on his sinus and was never comfortable with the headache issue. He said that that's not really a sinus issue because the headaches he was having up here, children don't have those sinus cavities yet. So he was the first one that really said something's going on here that's not sinus related. And Everett had a procedure, and after the procedure, he said we would feel immediate comfort and that everything would be cleared up. And within about 8 hours, when all of the medicine had worn off, Everett was back with a headache much worse than normal. And so the ENT was the first one that said, this is a migraine. This is something that's very different, and you need to see a neurologist. We were sent to a neurologist, very difficult to get into, see a neurologist, and they said he's probably having migraines, continuous migraines now, because he was left untreated for such a long period of time. It's very hard to break a migraine. The only time that we would get any relief was when he was in the ER. They were constantly at an 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, going on that scale. We were supposed to be starting school in August, and we did not start school. There was no way he was able to go to school. The migraines just never broke, never stopped. The only time that they would stop was when he was sleeping, and then he would be woken up by them. The pain was so great. He was literally laying in a darkened room for hours a day. He couldn't function. He was throwing up because of the nausea. The level of pain was so intense that he basically couldn't watch TV, couldn't do anything. He had no quality of life. He was missing school. We missed the first 4 weeks of school. The neurologist gave him a low-dose antidepressant to help and stave it off. But like most antidepressants, it takes 30 days to see if it would even work. Unfortunately for Everett, that did not work. And so the entire month of August and a good bit of September were kept trying to keep him at least an 8 where he was comfortable. And when it worked up and he couldn't get any relief, we would have to take him to the ER. So it was multiple ER visits, usually at least once a week. They would give him a pain management system, but it would only work while he was in the ER, and as soon as we were home, he was back up to an 8 to a 10. So as you can imagine, it was very heart-wrenching for our family. We just didn't see any hope. We didn't see any relief. We didn't know what else to do. The neurologists weren't helping. The pediatrician wasn't helping. He diagnosed us. He said that we should drink 6 bottles of Mountain Dew over a course of a weekend and see if that would help get rid of the headache. Caffeine generally can help break the cycle. They're all about breaking the cycle, which at this point have been going on for 12 weeks. So my sister, after seeing this and then having Everett start a new month-long course of a new medication where he would have to be laying in bed for another month, said, why don't you try my chiropractor? She's a patient with Dr. Lindell, and she said, try him. He's really great. He's helped me. I have not had to have surgery on my arm, which I thought for sure, and our doctor said that she would have to have. So we made an appointment as soon as we could get in, and when we came in, I was very happy. He listened to our entire story, which is extensive, and he was the first one that said it was nerve-related. And he looked at Everett's whole body, his whole posture. He did tests of his neck, of his spine, of his arms, of his leg, and he really was able to show me how out of joint everything was. His neck, his vertebrae were completely skewed, which was putting pressure on the nerves. He did such a great job explaining it to me, which were leading up into the brain, which were not allowing the vessels to close properly, which is a migraine. A migraine is when your blood vessels in your brain are running wide open and you have too much pressure. So he explained to me how we needed to get everything back into alignment to allow everything to flow properly. And he did extensive work on Everett that first day, and it was hard to watch because it was painful for Everett because he was so out of alignment. But within a few days, we saw a difference, and we came back. It was twice a week visits to try and give him his body time to adjust, at the same time trying to give him the relief that he needed to get back to school and back in life. This is the end of September now, and this has started the beginning of June. And Everett came along. We saw a difference very quickly. Within a week, we were seeing a difference. And the new medicine was starting to kick in a little, but Everett had freer movement, his neck, his back, he was opening up in his chest again. You could see a real transformation happening. And Everett's been with the chiropractor about 2 months now, and he's back in school. He is headache free. He is a normal boy. I asked him last week. He says he feels like he did when he was in first grade, before any of this happened. So I really thought I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do. There was no doctor that would help us. There was no medicine that was working. I didn't know what to do for him anymore. As a parent, it was awful to sit by and to watch him suffer constantly. Constant, stagnant migraines that never broke. And there was nothing I could do for him. So I'm just so thankful that we found a doctor that really took a whole body look at what was happening and was able to adjust and really understand what was happening inside of his body and understanding how the systems were working together. And really, he gave Everett his life back. And we are so thankful for Performance Chiropractic and the staff and everyone who has helped us on this terrible journey that hopefully has a wonderful ending and has continued to be good to today. So thank you very much.